always, people tend to think that self-care is, it's like, oh, let me take a break from my kids, or let me go to, the spa, or let me go get my nails done, or let me go do something fun. But there's a different side to self-care that people don't understand, and that's actually going inside your closet. I think that when I was first getting into my recovery, the one thing that was helpful for me was having someone to talk to about it. Having someone that I could bounce ideas of change over, and someone that I could honestly say that I felt cared and didn't judge me. They were just there.
When I got into my recovery process, I remember it was actually the littlest of things that made the biggest impact or the biggest difference. And what I mean by that is little things like, getting out of bed in the morning, walking downstairs to my living room, sitting on the couch, and just watching the birds at our bird feeder, doing their thing, and just looking at the birds and not thinking about what thoughts are coming to my mind or something, but really just paying attention to the little details in life. The way our cats, the way my cat is sitting. What is the position of his paws, his tail, what is he doing, is he licking himself? If I just focus on that, something that fixates my mind on something that takes me away from thinking about my depression or my anxiety, that definitely helps a lot.
I don't think I could limit it to one. But I think the most simple thing that was helpful for me was that you can pick one meeting and go to it every week. And that way you get to know people without having to make any effort. So that was one simple thing that was really not that profound, but super valuable.
Breathing. Breathing is a really basic technique, but it really does make a difference. So much of our stability and our groundedness comes from our breath. And so just taking a deep breath just really brings you back to center and can be really grounding. And that is something that I think everyone can use.
When I was first getting into recovery, what was helpful was having lots of things to do to fill up my time. Even if they were I did a lot of groups at treatment centers. I did a lot of mental health counseling. I did a lot of work with, my sponsor, any and everything that I could do with other people just to not be alone in early recovery was vital. I could not be alone because then I would start having, bad thoughts and I would start to get down on myself because I didn't know how to be kind to myself yet.
Simple things that was really helpful. Wow, that's a good question. Simple things that were helpful. Meeting my best friend at the shelter, or just actually, my substance abuse counselor was that little thing. She just would give me cute little motivational affirmations, I guess they're called. I felt supported by her body language. That would be a little thing.
The simplest thing that was helpful was somebody actually admitting to me that early recovery was going to stink. So often I felt like people in meetings were saying just how great recovery was and how amazing it was to be sober, and that absolutely wasn't what I was feeling at all at the time. And it wasn't until someone, probably the first 2 or 3 weeks that I was in recovery, actually said in a meeting that the first 6 months was probably going to be bad, that I started feeling okay about the fact that I felt bad. I didn't feel great that it was going to last 6 months, but at least it gave me some hope that this feeling wasn't going to last forever.
When I was first getting into recovery, one of the first simple things that was helpful, being called on in a meeting from people who didn't know me, being a new person in a meeting, and they wanting to hear why I was there.
People taking the time to listen to what I was struggling with and taking the time to try and understand what was going on with me and just being there for me to listen.
The people who have gone before me, who found recovery, extended their hand and made it easy, and it actually looked fun. Once I got to know their background and know what they had gone through, their horrific circumstances, traumas, after that, they loved me unconditionally, just meeting me and encouraging me to get my kids back immediately. I asked my sponsor in my first 90 days clean to sponsor me. I still have that same sponsor. She's walked with me through all kinds of things, and I have walked with her. We get to grow old together.
I think the mental health spiral is to recover, to recover, to recover. I have heard this said by people who are in many forms of recovery. You get to recover and recover. It's a reoccurring event, this recovery. One of the things that helped me the most when I was very young, and when I say very young, I mean 14 years old, was a psychiatrist who told me I had to live with it. And that helped me turn a corner. And I never forgot it. No matter what's happened since then, I'll always remember, I have to live with this. And sometimes I remember, I can live with this.
When I was first getting into recovery, the simplest thing that I did that was helpful was deciding to learn about what they said was happening to me and see if it coincided with what I was feeling or going through that they diagnosed in me, because there are symptoms in diagnosis. So I'd see where the similarities lie. And then I'd speak truth to that. If I felt that, then I'd say that. If I didn't, then I'd tell them, I hear you, but I'm not there yet. That's not what's happening with me.